Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel here. Today we got another video for you today. As you can see, it's kind of a comparison of the pros and cons video here of PC gaming or console gaming. As you can see, don't have any tabs or anything pulled up, any props other than I guess if you count that. So it's just really going to be kind of a talking type of video here. Now, kind of the pros and cons and comparisons between should somebody go PC gaming or should somebody go console gaming, and kind of what the sell cases are, what the buy cases are for both of those, kind of what both bring to the table and what kind of both kind of have a problem or lack in, you could say. So yeah, let's get started here. So I guess kind of the big, obvious, elephant in the room, I guess, but the big comparison and the pro and con for each has been price point. PC is always seen as more of an exclusive, and rightfully so, a more kind of expensive pursuit here, because these things and the laptop I'm recording on, these all cost generally a lot more than whatever console you're buying. Even the PS5 Pro at the $700 price point without a disk drive or anything, still somehow. But that's kind of why I made this video, if anything, is because consoles are getting up into that point of $700 now, and that's not even including any accessories or games or a disk drive or anything. It's starting to creep up closer to that kind of $1,000 mark ish. That has always kind of been the golden child figure point for getting into PC gaming on a gaming computer that is capable of running and performing good games currently. And it still kind of holds true today. You can still create a good PC for $1,000, a very good one. Obviously, you can do some budgeting stuff to try to make it like a $500 to $1,000 computer, or buy used parts or buy them on big sales or anything, and really budget out your kind of spec to try to really cut corners and save an extra dollars. But generally speaking, $1,000 for most people is the kind of price figure most people do to get into PC gaming and do it right. Of course, you can spend more, a lot more, to get a really nice future-proof system. So it's even more expensive for a lot of people. And that therein lies kind of the big divide that's always, hampered PC between console is the price point. I mean, the whole PC master race, quote unquote, is a meme kind of for a reason. It's seen as a more expensive, more exclusive, and because of that, more high-powered and better, quote unquote, gaming experience for a lot of people. And it's definitely better. You can obviously build a better PC than any console, even the PS5 Pro or the Series X is going to be able to do. Um, just because the difference in price points and what components, because of the bigger build and everything and the money difference, are available to you. But that's not the only consideration to make. I think the big selling points for console, let's kind of start there first. The big selling points for console has been the cheaper price. For $500 or less, depending on sales and versions of what you're getting and everything, you get a gaming device, and really sometimes these days a multimedia device that for an entire generation, which goes from anywhere from like 5 to 10 years or so, will faithfully serve you, being able to play all the games of that current generation that come out that current generation, good enough anywhere. You can play on your monitor and PC, or monitor or TV, sit on your couch, sit back with a controller and just relax. Just plug and play. It's a lot simpler. There's not a lot of moving parts and components that you have to upgrade and deal with and reinstall and fucking mess around with. That's a big thing there. It's in my opinion by far the best place to play sports games with a controller on a bigger user base over on console. I mean, look at College Football 25. It didn't even release on PC for a reason that a large portion of console or sports games players really aren't on PC, and they didn't feel the need to spend the extra time and money porting it there. That might be a trend that you see in the future. We'll see. But regardless, sports games has always been better on console. Console is just easier. Again, like I hit on there a little bit. You don't have to build it. You don't have to spend the extra money on it. You don't have to research what parts to get and what parts to upgrade to eventually. You don't have to replace and repair and upgrade components manually going into the console. The extent of what console gamers do for upgrading or managing their system is plugging in an HDMI cable and stuff like that, a power supply. Occasionally, like in the PS5, you can pop a panel off, screw in a little NVMe SSD, put the panel back on, and that's really as extensive as it gets. But yeah, it's very simple on console, and they've got a lot of accessories and peripherals that you can get. The controllers are really nice, particularly with the PS5 controller. Look at the jump they made with that. The accessories are really nice. They have VR headsets. They have mobile gaming solutions like streaming to a backbone or streaming to the PlayStation Portal, stuff like that. That is kind of always been the selling point. Is it's for gamers. It's an exclusive, confined ecosystem. There's less chance for stuff to go wrong. It's a lot less complicated to get set up and to maintain for the entire generation, and even into the next generation for a little bit. For the most part, it is a very simple, easy to use, and especially for the price point, very powerful and more than good performance for all the games and all the multimedia solutions that you want to use. So it's a very compelling thing for most people, even more so than PC gaming for most people. Now, let's go to the pros, I guess, or I guess let's do the cons of console gaming. But again, the cons and pros and cons on this, it's like one person's cons are kind of the other person's pros type of thing. So let's do the pros for PC gaming actually. The pros for PC gaming are the power and the performance. You can build a game, if money's no object, but even if money is somewhat restrained, for $1,000 or more, you can buy and build a PC that is going to outperform any console on the market, um, regardless of any game you play, and is going to crush it, especially the more and more money you start spending. It's going to be a great future-proof system that's going to outperform console. Some other things are games. PC library is more expansive than either consoles. It's really these days PC gaming as well as maybe the Nintendo Switch, honestly, are the only two ecosystems that have true exclusives. PlayStation 5 and stuff like that, they'll have console exclusives, which means they're not available on the Xbox, or the Xbox stuff isn't available on PlayStation. Like you can't play Halo on PlayStation, but you can't play God of War or something on the Xbox. But you know where you can play both of those these days? On PC. That's, PC's kind of getting the best of both worlds here. Obviously Microsoft and Xbox have always been very compatible and very sharing and getting their games ported over to really everything, but especially to PC because of the Microsoft connection and the Windows and everything. It's very easy for them to port over there, and for that reason been a lot more compatible and more user friendly between PC and Xbox users there. But even PlayStation these days, most of their games are on PC or eventually ported over to PC at some point after it's released on the console. Obviously, again, there's the pros of the consoles that might, sway you over there. A lot of the Sony games you can kind of, these days you can play God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, The Last of Us, most of the Spider-Man games, I think, stuff like that on PC. Generally, if you have the system to handle it, at better performances. So it's kind of, the give or take there. Obviously, there's PC exclusives. There's stuff like Dota, League of Legends, Counter Strike, stuff like Civilizations wasn't really available on console outside of Revolutions and Civ 6 now for a while there. There's games that you can play on PC that you can't really play anywhere else. Honestly, for pretty cheap digital prices on Steam too, usually. It's a great environment and ecosystem. It really just lacks with the sports titles, if that's a big deal to you, which it is to a lot of people, but if that's not, you're really not missing out on anything. And the biggest drawback to you is, I guess you could say, user friendliness and sports games there, and price, of course. Obviously, I play on PC, but I also play on console as well. Both have great advantages too. I find myself these days, honestly, from my personal perspective, playing on console a lot more, just because of the relaxed environment of it. This PC is kind of overdue for an upgrade, and I kind of just haven't really gotten around to it, anyways. It's obviously also not as relaxed. There's more stuff. PC isn't a closed off ecosystem really, unless you're on something like the Steam Deck or something. PC is not a closed off gaming ecosystem. PC comes with a lot more stuff. It's not just for gaming or multimedia even. It's for work. It's for, browsing the internet as a general. Anything you can do on any electronic platform really, you can probably do on PC. And that's good, but it also comes with more complications, more exposure to risk, more ways to mess some software system up. It's a lot more complicated. And upgrading this or building this yourself, or repairing or replacing damaged or dead kind of component, which happens to everybody, it's more complicated. You have to actually go in there, get a new part, take that one out, put it in there and redo it. Which some of the components that's easy, like a GPU or adding storage in the form of an SSD, especially one that's not NVMe that goes into your motherboard. Um, there's the modular ones that you put on the little trays there. It's pretty easy actually. But it's for like some components like NVMe, SSDs, CPUs, upgrading motherboards. That stuff is very annoying and a pain in the ass to replace. Say you have to replace a case, you basically have to put everything back in. Stuff like those components are very fucking annoying to replace and upgrade. Or even just build in general the first time. That's the problems you run into with PC that make it a headache. Software issues, again, stuff can happen, storage, viruses, stuff like that. Another major pain in the ass. Especially that's even honestly harder for me than the hardware, like physical aspect of it, because I'm not a tech guy. I don't know all the ins and outs of everything. I mostly rely on YouTube videos for that stuff, and it can be very annoying sometimes. So it's PC, higher risk, higher reward. The higher you go, the more power you get, and the more it's like not saying the more power you get, the more land you capture, the more enemies you have, type of thing, right? It's the more performance here, and the more offered to you, and the more problems and headaches you have to deal with, right? So that's kind of the problem, as opposed to a closed off, pretty streamlined and user friendly experience of the consoles there. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I kind of switched back to using console a lot. Unless it's a game that's specifically only played on PC. Like I'll come back and because I have, and also if I don't want to buy a second copy of it, obviously, I'll go back and I'll play like CS:GO or CS2 now, anyways. I'll play Civ on here and strategy games that I have on here. Stuff that I can't play on my console, I'll go back to my PC and I'll play it. Now, the other thing, if you're going into laptop gaming because you want that, transportable and, movable kind of aspect of gaming that console does a better job. Obviously, you can't take it on a computer or take it on like a train or like a airplane with you and have your console there really, like you can on a laptop. But for transporting the system, console's a lot more transportable than a fucking PC or anything. Like carrying that thing around with the monitor and keyboard and everything, if you wanted that. Laptops are the most transportable, but the problem with laptop gaming is the most expensive by far. That whole $1,000 PC figure, it's probably going to be more for the laptop. The reason being, again, laptops, you really can't build your own laptop, so you're gonna have a build fee there. On top of that, laptop gaming is just more expensive. There's particular parts made specially for laptops, kind of more modular and smaller designs, which is annoying for companies to make. Also, you can't really upgrade a laptop. Um, when it's 5 years or something has passed on your laptop and it's now outdated and can't run all the new games, it can really only run old games or whatever, it's kind of slow and stuff. It's kind of like an iPhone. You can't go in there and really tinker with stuff like you can with a PC because of the modular design and the particular parts that are harder to get. You can't really upgrade your laptop for the most part, for most of them anyways. um, it's just not really, and it's even more of a headache if you can. I'm just not really aware of it too much. But regardless, it's laptop maintenance and upgrading isn't really an option. It's a lot harder for a lot of people. So generally, for that reason and the special considerations they have to make when they make a laptop and stuff like that, it's going to be even more expensive for that and for the portability and everything and the special smaller components. It's going to be more expensive. So you can have better portability, but it's going to cost you a lot more and it's going to get outdated to a thing you can't really upgrade anymore and have to just get a new one, unfortunately, kind of like an iPhone again. So yeah, that's kind of the cons of a laptop. The only pro over a PC is the portability, obviously. A lot of college students will have them, obviously, for dual purpose work, school, and gaming, but that's kind of the best use case for a laptop over a PC, but regardless. But yeah, those are kind of some of the pros and cons of both of them that I've listed out here, and kind of the kind of big divide here, I guess. Obviously, I have all three. I have both console. I have a laptop. I have a PC. I have an Xbox, PlayStation. That's because I'm fortunate enough to have been able to collect all that over time and be able to get that. But some people don't have that. And some of the use cases or buy cases, I said, of should you go with console or should you go with PC? Console, go for console, and whether that's PlayStation or Xbox is up to you. I actually have a video on that recently, but regardless, that is up to you. Whether to go to console, if you are a big sports gamer, like if you play a lot of sports games, I'd go with console, one or the other. If you want a cheaper version that still plays games for a long time and a great, experience, go for that. If you want to be able to move your system around, again, for the cheaper and the sports game, everything easier, go for console. If you want a more stress-free, easier to maintain, more user-friendly, simpler plug and play, more relaxed and casual gaming style, go for a console. Again, those are the big cases of when to buy or what type of person is right for a console. Now, what is right for a PC or I guess laptop either too, but what is the buy case for a laptop or for a PC? If you have the extra money, that's the biggest thing. If you have the extra money you want to spend, if you want the higher performance and it matters that much to you for the money that you have to spend for it, if you don't mind doing the technical aspect of it, the upgrading, the building, the replacing, the information searching for which parts to get and everything, and what to upgrade and when to upgrade it, if that stuff doesn't bother you, go for that. If you want access to the PC exclusive stuff like Counter Strike, stuff like MOBAs, stuff like World of Warcraft and MMOs that really aren't available on console, PC is obviously the place to go. Yeah, those are kind of the big cases for PC there. It's always, been the more expensive of the two, but it offers more in return with more headaches that could potentially arise and probably will arise in some cases. But regardless, those are kind of the two trade-offs there. If you have money, if you are really invested in the video games and just technology in general, and you have all the money, I guess you could go for both. That might be the best case scenario for you. Who knows? But regardless, those are kind of the two use case and buy cases for it. Hope you guys found this video informative. If you have any questions or any thoughts on the matter, I'd love to hear them down in the comments. If you found this video enjoyable and like the channel and generally all the stuff I get, I'd love to hear that in the comments, and I'd love to hear any recommendations on videos you guys have in the comments too. And I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe for you guys if you guys found this video informative and entertaining. It really helps out the channel, and I appreciate all the views, likes, and subscribes I've been getting since I'm back. It's been great. I'm going to keep trying to get the content pushed out to you guys, to return the favor there, obviously, and I really appreciate that, guys. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next video.